Minister Fidan makes striking statement on Turkey's EU membership. I don't think it will ever happen, Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan emphasized that the main obstacle to Turkey's EU membership process is identity politics, saying that membership does not seem possible as long as the Union fails to become a structure that transcends civilizations. Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan gave an interview to Hadley Gamble on the Record program during his visit to Davos. Fidan's statements on Turkey's EU membership, Iran, and Syria drew attention as he discussed tensions and developments in the region. Fidan stated that the plan by the U.S. during the Obama administration to cooperate with the terrorist organization PKK in the fight against the terrorist organization ISIS was not a good plan, saying, "We were told that this would be a temporary thing lasting almost 2 years. However, more than 10 years have passed. That's where we are today." And finally, Mr. U.S. President Donald Trump is making a really big correction on behalf of the U.S. system. Fidan pointed out that some international report has incorrectly portrayed the terrorist organization YPG SDG as the sole representative of Syrian Kurds, saying that the PKK had exiled more than 12 political parties. Fidan corrects ESAD'S mistake. Fidan pointed out that while he was head of the National Intelligence Organization in 2010 to 2011, then Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan sent him to Assad to convey his request to grant citizenship to the Kurds, and that Assad did not do so, indicating that Syrian President Ahmed Shara and his team were trying to correct this mistake. Turkey's EU membership responding to a question about whether Turkey would become a member of the European Union (EU). Fidan said, "I believe that this will never happen as long as the European Union maintains its identity politics mentality towards Turkey. Because, as we always say, the EU has succeeded in becoming a supranational institution, but it has failed to become a super-civilizational institution. And they will never ask themselves this question. When it comes to Turkey, they first pursue identity politics." Fidan explained that the EU prioritizes the fact that Turkey's religion and civilization are different, pointing out that different civilizations must come together under one roof to solve humanity's problems. Fidan recalled Sarkozy's statements that he did not want to see Turkey in the Union. Emphasizing Christian identity in Europe, Fidan recalled that Sarkozy argued that Turkey's accession to the EU would cause the rise of far-right politics, but pointed out that this happened anyway. Despite Turkey not becoming a member, Hakan Fidan said, "If we were part of the European Union, Brexit would not have happened, and Europe as a whole would be much more resilient." Minister Fidan noted that Turkey's membership in the EU could have prevented the UK from leaving the EU through Brexit, adding that the London government did not want to see EU power concentrated solely in Brussels and always aimed for a broader European Union. Turkey is ready to do everything for Gaza. Responding to a question about the possibility of Turkey sending troops to Gaza, Fidan recalled that President Recep Tayyip Erdogan had said Turkey was ready to do everything within its power to contribute to the Gaza peace plan. Fidan conveyed the message that Turkey is ready to be part of the international stabilization force in Gaza within this framework, saying, however, this issue depends on discussions to be held within a broader international community. We are not ruling this out. We are willing to do it. But as I said, this issue should be discussed among certain countries and a consensus should be reached. We will see how the process progresses," emphasizing his belief that U.S. President Donald Trump could stop the fighting in Gaza. Fidan underscored that Israel had repeatedly violated the ceasefire. Trump can stop Israel if he wants to. Fidan stated that he believes U.S. President Trump is the only person who can exert real pressure on Israel, pointing out that Trump is believed to be independent of the agendas of various lobbies. Fidan assessed that Trump can therefore think and act independently. Fidan said, "Trump has the capacity to exert pressure on Israel and stop Israel's wrongful actions if he wants to." Call for dialogue with Iran. Fidan reminded that Iran is a neighboring and large country in the region, saying that he believes what is happening in Iran is also of close concern to Turkey, pointing out that the issues in Iran affect a wide region. Fidan said, "For this reason, stability in Iran is important for all of us." Fidan emphasized that for this reason, Iran and the international community have been advised to resolve their issues through dialogue rather than force, stating that dialogue is the only way to resolve the issues. Pressure is already being applied to Iran. Fidan emphasized that Iran must therefore make changes to its foreign and certain security policies in order to seize certain opportunities. He stated that he does not believe events in Iran or surrounding Iran will lead to regime change in Iran, and that he has not mentioned this possibility when asked about the possibility of intervention by the U.S. in Iran. Fidan replied, "I advise my American friends not to do this, because they are already putting too much pressure on Iran. Sanctions are causing great damage to the Iranian economy." He pointed out that the protests in Iran are also related to this, stating that Iran is ready for negotiations, but that a way to negotiate properly must be found. Fidan indicated that if Iran feels cornered, it will be prepared for the worst-case scenario. Fidan stated, "If there is a single sincere intention to solve the problem, I believe there is an opportunity. We communicated to major issues to Shara." Fidan recalled that in the first week after the overthrow of the Ba'ath Party regime led by Bashar al-Assad on December 8, 2024, the countries of the region first met in Amman and then in Cairo, and that European countries and the U.S. also joined the talks. "We all identified 4 or 5 priorities we expected from the government in Damascus: not to pose a threat to neighboring countries, not to cooperate with terrorist organizations, not to oppress minorities and other ethnic and religious groups, and to preserve the country's territorial integrity and unity. Refugees and terrorism are 2 major issues for us. We conveyed these to Syrian President Ahmed Shara." Fidan said that Shara accepted the priorities presented and added, "And since then, I think everyone has been quite satisfied with his work."